What's the deal? It's the champ, Shannon Briggs, 2-time heavyweight champ of the world. And yo, champ, you chilling with my boy, Scoop B Radio. Let's go, champ.
Scoop B Radio in your area code, on the plane, on the train, everywhere you want to be. Make sure you subscribe to Scoop B Radio on streaming platforms. I'm your host, Brandon Scoop B Robinson, joined by the incomparable 2-time champ, Shannon Briggs. Brother, what's up?
I'm chilling, champ. Good to see you, Scoop. I'm just here, maintaining, making it happen. Happy to be alive.
Styling and profiling.
Let's go, champ.
Yes, sir. Listen, man, what I like about you is I see you paving the way and paying it forward from when you were young, seeing Mike Tyson in Brooklyn, and now you're starting a trade school, if you will, but really it's just a boxing academy, the business of boxing. Tell me more.
Right. Actually, it was a dream of mine as a kid, as a homeless teenager, to be honest with you, to have a place where young kids like myself could go and pursue a career in the toughest business known to man, the fight sport. You know what I'm saying? Again, I was a homeless teenager. I fell into boxing through a friend invited me to a gym. A series of events led me to going to a gym. And to be honest with you, Scoop, it was the best thing could have ever happened to me at the time. I was homeless. My mother was suffering from a drug addiction. My stepfather, who raised me, was in prison. And I had a rough life. I was 13, 14 years old. I had no idea how to survive and what was next for me because I didn't come from a bad background. It was a series of events that led to me to tragically, suddenly losing our apartment in Brownsville. And that led me to, trying to survive. And luckily, I found boxing, and boxing saved my life. I always said when if I made it, I'd come back and open up a school. Because my thinking, and has always been for a long time, is that if you look at Brownsville, Brooklyn, that's where I'm from, as you can see on the hat. It's a small section of Brooklyn, which is only 1.3 miles. But within those 1.3 miles, there's close to 100,000 or more people packed into what is the most housing projects in the nation. Brownsville, Brooklyn has the most housing projects in the nation. With that being said, people are packed in. It's very violent. It's a very rough neighborhood. And from this neighborhood, great boxers have come from this neighborhood. Very good ones and great boxers, such as Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, the great light heavyweight boxing king, the great Riddick Bowe, one of the great big men of the big man era, Zab Judah, Curtis Stevens, Danny Jacobs, our new rising star, Bruce Carrington, and myself are all from Brownsville, Brooklyn. A very small neighborhood, a very intense neighborhood that people fight. They love it. So it was my thinking that going back to Brownsville to open up a gym and an academy, because everybody ain't gonna be a boxer, but guess what? You might be a referee. You might want to, and a lot of people don't know, Scoop, how to become a referee. They're like, wow, I never thought about it. But if you think about it, referees have the greatest job. They travel the world. There's fights every night, all over the world. You might get a call tonight. You need to be in Hawaii. You need to be in Japan. You need to be in Africa. All over the world. So you get to fly around the world. You get paid for it, and you're doing something that you love, judging as well. And I see, especially in Brownsville, that they love boxing. They want it. They know their history, which is the legacy of the champions that's come from there, and they're ready for something new. So I moved back from Florida. I moved here to Jersey, where I'm at now, and I travel every day to Brownsville, Brooklyn, to my old neighborhood, where I have a building right now that I'm in the process of turning into a boxing school. I believe that we will get the next Mike Tyson, Shannon Briggs, Riddick Bowe from Brownsville.
Man, you were teaching a master class on how to give back. Would you have 3 classes a week? Would it be college style? Is it more high? Because you see, like in football and basketball, you have like the IMG academies and some of the other schools like that. Would it be more like that, or would this be more like after school?
No, it's full day school. We would have classes. There's 3 floors. There's the main floor, there's the basement, and there's upstairs. And we have 24-foot ceilings. And my goal is to have classes upstairs. Again, learn how to be a judge, a timekeeper, a ringside physician, even concessions. We're gonna have a juice bar inside, and also a merch shop. My goal, Scoop, is to bring pride back to my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
My neighborhood is a neighborhood that's always, when you talk about Brownsville, oh, ill. You know, I've even had one time I asked a girl, I said, "Hey, you from Brownsville?" She said, "Ill, I ain't from no Brownsville."
Wow.
So she was like, "Ill." So I was like, wow. So that's what we've been known for, being a little rough around the edges. But guess what? Our economy will change. Brownsville, I envision an amphitheater there, an event center, doing shows, getting fighters, and then the evolution will be these same fighters fighting at the Barclays one day. One day fighting at the Barclays and being a main event fighter.
You've seen fortifying the economy in today's times. I like it. You've seen Jay-Z do the Rock Nation School at LIU Brooklyn and more. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. You talked about Mike Tyson and meeting him when you were young. Your relationship with Brooklyn rappers. What music in today's times, or even in your era, gets you hyped now?
You know, all of '90s was the best era of hip hop if you really think about it. Aside from it did go left in regards to the message, and it went totally left and went off the planet, and it doomed a lot of young black and brown and white people as well. I mean, it was just an effect. It had a huge effect on our people. You know, and I say our people, me being a black man, it had a huge effect on black people in regards to the lyrics. But hip hop in general is a blessing, and it came at a time when black people needed something, and it created jobs, created business. Hip hop gave us the world we have today. The whole world has changed because of hip hop. So my affection and love for hip hop is deep rooted, because I look at it from an economic standpoint, what it's done to the world, from a cultural standpoint, what it's done. I mean, you know, black people created this music, this art form it's just changed the world. It changed the dynamics of the world. So I say that to say, you asked me what I listen to. I listen to hip hop. I love hip hop, but I had to take a break from it, Scoop B, in regards to the lyrics. I had to take a break from it because I was suffering from depression throughout the years of my life, ups and downs. I was suffering from depression, and it was a time when I would listen to hip hop lyrics, certain lyrics, and it would cause PTSD within myself. You know what I'm saying? I have PTSD. I'm from Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? I was born in the 70s and I was raised in the 80s. I came up through the 80s, the crack era. My mother was a heroin addict. You know, my father died in prison. So I was in the streets. And for me to see what I seen and to know the effect of the music, because it taught me, it influenced me. It gave me everything I am today, hip hop, because of the messages. Then it was video. First it was just directed, then it was the video. So I was able to look at things and say, wow, you know, from a different standpoint, and to see what black people was doing in California and in Texas, because we didn't know until Ghetto Boys or NWA what was going on, Ice-T, whoever. So I say that to say, when I was going through my depression school, I decided to take a diet, have a diet off of hip hop, but I couldn't because I love it. So what I started doing was listening to instrumentals.
Okay.
Just the beats.
What instrumental was your go-to?
Man, everything. They all knock. Broken Language by Smooth the Hustler. That beat was done by DR Period. That's a crazy beat. You know, even trap beats, 808 heavy beats. But, you know, most hip hop instrumentals, if you really take a look at it, I was listening to the other day, Capone and Noriega, TONY. And I just put on the instrumental and I was like, wow, this beat to me was just banging. Like, and that's most beats. Jay-Z, an excellent beat picker. You know, he picks the most amazing beats. So if you just put on, for me, when I was in the gym, Scoop, and I was training, and I didn't want to hear the negative lyrics anymore. I just started putting on instrumentals, and I noticed I would just get into it. I start flowing. And no thoughts of what he's saying or what she's saying. It could be negative. It could be about, robbing, killing, spending money. I didn't need none of that no more because I spent a lot of money throughout the hip hop era. Puffy, throw the money in the sky. I was one of the dummies.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, champ.
Okay. What's your go-to instrumental? So Pharrell and Timbaland, to me, are musical geniuses.
Nasty.
Between those two, what's your go-to in the gym? What's your go-to when you just around the house chilling between those two guys?
I'm a Timbaland fan. You know what I'm saying? Because my family from Virginia too. So, but they both from Virginia. To be honest with you, they both from Virginia. But now Timbaland just got so many hits, man. From Aaliyah to Genuine. If you listen to some of the beats that Timbaland did for Genuine songs, unbelievable, bro. Magoo, rest in peace to Magoo. These guys had this and Pharrell too. Come on, Pharrell's a genius when it comes to music. And just look at that area, Virginia, Newport News area, Norfolk area. They spawned two geniuses, two musically inclined geniuses, man. Unreal.
For me, I've always liked the Clips' Grinding with
nasty work.
Yes.
Nasty.
That was the theme song of every lunchroom around the world.
Nasty.
One thing that I found fascinating about your career is both coaching the Logan Pauls of the world and even appearing in Bad Boys 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's me.
What was the set like with Will and Martin on Bad Boys 2?
No, it was fun, man. It was cool. It was cool, actually. Both, really nice guys, funny guys on and off camera. And it was cool, but it was work, champ, to be honest with you. I was in there. I shot with them for like maybe a month. I was around maybe 2 months. And it was pretty cool, champ, professional men, family men, on the job. And you can learn from that, as a young brother looking at these guys and having an opportunity to work with these guys was a feather in my cap that I could tell my grandkids.
Clearly. Sticking on the Paul train, Mike Tyson and Logan, or rather Jake Paul, will be participating in a bout fairly soon. Does Mike participating in boxing at this age, because you guys are both OGs, does that give hope for boxers in your generation? Or does that worry you because of health and so much impact that you guys took in your 20s and your 30s?
No, not at all. With technology and where we are in the future, we're living in the Jetsons age right now, man. So a guy like myself, I'm 52,000 years old, but I feel like a 25-year-old, man, honestly, because of what we've learned over the years when it comes to health and dieting and just in general, sleep, rest, recovery, and, with the blessing of things like so many different new medications that help people out, man, that just amazing, man, that, a guy like Mike who is an amazing puncher and he got money so he can afford all the top medicine. He's going to be okay. He got therapy. You can rest, get massage, ice baths, hot tubs, man, you can feel like a spring chicken at 80 years old if you do it right.
So riddle me this. If you're Mike Tyson,
if you got the money.
Of course. You got that LeBron James, Magic Johnson budget, you're good to go.
Say no more.
Riddle me this. If you're Mike Tyson going toe-to-toe with Jake Paul, what should the game plan be?
Seek and destroy. Seek and destroy. Don't play. Just seek and destroy. Cause pain. I think Mike need to be mad a little bit and feel a little disrespected and feel a little bit like, okay, I got to make an example of this kid because the audacity, the nerve is great. It's phenomenal for Mike. I applaud him and any fighter being able to make money in this business because it's just a business. So, a lot of fighters live below the poverty line. They end up homeless. They end up, having serious health problems. And for Mike Tyson to be at his age and to be able to compete and make millions and millions of dollars, that's a great thing.
So if you had to kind of look at past fights or even any other sporting event, the old versus the young, what would you compare this particular fight to if you could channel something inspiration-wise?
Can't really say in any fight, honestly, Scoop, in my opinion, because this is kind of like if you looked at back in the days, exhibitions, right? This is just like an exhibition fight. It's kind of like, it's kind of hard to say. It'd be like saying Jerry Lewis versus, Muhammad Ali, right? Or something funny, right? Okay. But just think about a guy who a little bit more serious, but fighting a boxer, a former champion. It wouldn't make sense, and it shouldn't make sense, but it's entertainment. So if Joe Louis was fighting somebody or Muhammad Ali, we'd be like, okay. But if we thought Ali was going to get hurt, we'd kind of be risky. But do we think Mike's going to get hurt? Nah, some people say, oh, he might lose, but we want him to go in there strong, and we want him to do what he's supposed to do, be the great Mike Tyson, and teach this boy a lesson.
Could you get into the ring at this point?
I'm sorry?
Would you or could you get into the ring at this point?
Yeah, I fight anybody at any given time. No man alive in this world, when I'm in shape, could beat me. I don't care how old I am. I know for a fact that I'm one of the hardest punchers in boxing history. If you look up my record, I have the most first-round knockouts in boxing history than any other heavyweight champion. So I know that the reason why I'm not fighting is because they scared. You know what I'm saying? They scared. No, seriously. I'm not fighting because they scared. They said that I'm a weapon of mass destruction, and no, I couldn't get fights, so I got tired of chasing fights for so long. I've been blackballed in the industry a few times.
Tell me something. When you were boxing, what was the biggest cultural change for you when you finally became champion?
Having money, having a little money. I was like I said, a homeless teenager. So I made some money, and I was happy to be able to afford nice things. And that was a cultural change for me. And plus, moving out to Jersey, where I'm at now, from being from Brooklyn and then moving to Jersey, nice houses. And it was like, wow, you know what I mean? But it was something that I worked for, and I wanted it, and I made it happen.
What were the two coolest things that you got for free when the world knew who you were?
Rhythm with beautiful women. Rhythm with beautiful women. Yeah, that. And what else did I get for free? I give love and I get it back in return. So I got that. I got a lot of hate for free. I didn't want to expect it, but I was a handsome brother. I'm ugly now. I'm old and ugly now. But you should have seen me when I was 20, 25 years ago. I was a looker. I was and I had a lot of jealousy, a lot of hate, and I got a lot of hate, but it's okay. It comes with the territory.
You see a lot of boxers want to go into the world of professional wrestling, whether that's Ronda Rousey, who was more in UFC, whether that's even Clarissa Shields doing mixed martial arts, but also having the desire to do some boxing. And you saw Mike Tyson and you saw Floyd Mayweather do it. Were you ever approached, and is that something you'd want to have done?
No, I was never approached, and I was never interested as well. I watched it as a kid growing up, huge fan, love it to death. I can tell you everything about wrestling, but I can't see myself getting body slammed. I can't see myself getting thrown into the turnbuckles. I can't see none of that. It's really a tough business in regards to these guys are amazing athletes. These guys are amazing entertainers and sportsmen because they go out there and they have to take some big falls. They get hurt a lot. Amazing stuntmen, bro. So I respect it, and it's not my cup of tea. Even Logan Paul does it, and I'm amazed at some of the things that he's able to do, getting on the top rope and flying off. I'm like, wow. I mean, this kid is amazing.
When Ronda Rousey did it, some people raised an eyebrow. When you saw it, what did you think of it?
It's dope, man. I would love. I mean, not for myself. I'd be a manager. I think I'd be a good manager. Yeah, I'd be good as a manager.
Who were some of your? You talked about your point of entry with wrestling. Who were some of your favorite managers when you watch wrestling?
What was that? Greg DeHart. He had a man. All the managers was my favorite part because, to me, they were instigators. You know what I'm saying? And I love the entertainment. You got to think the genius of Vince McMahon and how he put that together. His dad first originally, but then him to carry on a legacy and to create what he created. I believe they sold it, but to have the scripted, I mean, and just let's put a manager in there, and the manager will be like the hype man. It was just amazing, man, and I love that the entertainment part of it. The managers made it so entertaining for wrestling. That's what I want to be, a manager in wrestling.
So I think that's interesting. When I look at the manager in wrestling, they play good cop, bad cop. It kind of reminds me of Jay-Z and Damon Dash back in the day.
Kind of, sort of. Let's go, champ.
Who are some of your favorite wrestlers?
Oh, man. Andre the Giant, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Bob Backlund, the Iron Sheik. They all was amazing times, man. I used to love when the women wrestlers would come out. And I used to watch it, you know, I'm talking about 1979, 1978, 80. I'm talking about die-hard fan. I mean, I can't miss nothing. I went to see wrestling as a kid many times at Madison Square Garden. So I was really into it, but I miss those good old days. Saturday mornings, wake up wrestling.
Brother, you are a wealth of knowledge. I'm wishing you nothing but success, particularly in your school. And I'm glad that we were able to catch you for a few minutes and talk about life, wrestling, music, and everything in between.
Oh man, I want to add one thing. First of all, me and Jay-Z born on the same day, December 4th. That's right. And shout out to Dame Dash. That's my boy. And then
go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to ask you something about Jay-Z. How far back do you go with Jay?
Man, many years. I've seen him in Brooklyn. I myself, you know, being from Brooklyn, him from Brooklyn. I went to Weston House, but not at the time when he was there. I went there for night school. He went to Weston House, but we had acquaintances. We knew we were seeing each other in passing and all that. He's a huge superstar, man. And I used to look at the dude and be like, yo, this dude gonna be a superstar. You could tell from his swag that he was gonna blow. But he surpassed any thoughts in my mind as a businessman, how he was able to just, you know, transform his businesses and his persona and his rap career into an amazing business career. That's amazing.
Did you know Biggie?
Yeah, I met Biggie. I can't say I knew him, but we met a few times, maybe 2 or 3 times.
What was he like?
He was cool. He was quiet when I met him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, what's up? I'm Shannon. And he was like, oh, see you on box. Oh, what's up? Word. And then I seen him again. Oh, yo, what's up? Oh, yo, what up? And then maybe another time I seen him, but it was just always in passing and what's up. You know what I mean? I'm from New York, born and raised, and if you know me, I'm really Brooklyn, so I be everywhere. You know what I mean? So I met mad people growing up when I was a kid. You know, your Fat Joe. You know, from seeing Puffy in the Village back in the days when I used to go out there to you know, house music days. Everybody, Tyson Bedford, all the New Yorkers, man. We all like Special Ed. That's my dude. You know, man, his Special Ed DJ Action was in my class. I grew up with MOP. Those my boys. So, you know, being from New York, coming up in the 80s and the 90s, it was an amazing time, man. It was an amazing time for humanity. Humanity, for real.
I like this era better than the camera phone and social media era. I think it was better back then than it is now.
You know, I think, you know, it's just, you know, it's so much, it's a different world than we lived in, champ. And it happened so fast. It really happened so fast. We just went from hate to CDs to nothing. Like this, you know what I mean? To just streaming. So it's just all happened pretty fast. You remember me? I still remember blowing the cartridges. My Coleco. You know?
Listen, I didn't do Coleco, but I did Nintendo, and the Duck Hunt and Super Mario World was my go-to.
It was the best games ever, man. Atari 5200. Then I had a 64, I think 100. It was crazy, man. But I had a Commodore 64. I go way back. I had a Commodore 64. I had a Radio Shack computer. I had a television. Remember television? Nah, you too young for that.
I know of it. I have cousins who had it. That wasn't my jam. My dad, that was when I was walking with him. That was before my time. But
yeah, man. So I was there with the video games when they began, and to see where it's at now is amazing. And that's going to be a huge part of our boxing academy and our school. It is also a content house. We'll have 220 LED screens on the walls, and we have ordered 85-inch screens. So it'll be like a futuristic gym, but also a content house where you can see fights of the past. We'll have fight nights. It'll be amazing.
Shannon, tell me something.
Yes, champ.
Do you remember Street Fighter, the game Street Fighter?
Of course.
Was the character of Balrog patterned after you or Mike Tyson?
No, it wasn't me. It had to be Mike Tyson. It was Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson. But I'm going to be in a new boxing game coming out. 2 games coming out. One called Undisputed, a boxing game coming out soon, and also another one called Only Hands.
Okay, not only fans, only hands.
Only hands.
Only hands, brother. If I ever got into an alleyway and I needed somebody to have my back with somebody trying to jump me, I'm picking you because you got them hands. They fear you. I
get busy. Thank you, champ. You're the best.
Brother, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Scoop. Have a phenomenal week and day. You the champ.
My man, you too.